Hello all, my name is Ryan Olson with WHITEBONE Creations. Welcome back to another cooking video. Did you know we cooked here? We actually cooked quite a bit here. You probably didn't know because nobody really wants to watch, but I wish you would. Check it out. Today I'm going to cook the most expensive piece of meat per pound that I've ever cooked. Now I came up with this number based on the amount of money to buy this auction tag divided by the pounds. So essentially $4,500 a pound. All those dollars went right back to conservation. Don't get all weird. Does it make the meat special? Nope. But was it delicious? Yep. I'm going to cook it 3 different ways. This is the pending world record Rocky Mountain Bighorn with a crossbow. If you click back 4 or 5 films, you can watch that film. This very generous hunter gave me a hindquarter and a backstrap. You'll see in a week or so the hindquarter get cooked via the flip-flop with a good friend of mine. That's exciting. So I'm going to do it 3 ways. I'm going to make a big Irish stew because I thought it was going to be tough. So I wanted to cook it down. It's a 10-year-old ram. Spoiler alert, it was tough then and I had to kind of manipulate it. Then I take the leftovers, I make some tacos, and then just now I made what I think is the best flavored game meat dish I've ever done. No surprise of what's in it, but essentially I'm going to do a wild sheep cheesesteak sandwich. Delicious. Let's get to cooking. Let's start right here. This is the backstrap of this ram. It's been in a brine for 5 days, salty ice water, and I know it looks blonde and once you trim it off, it's beautiful and looks just like this. If you want delicious, mild game meats, brine it. If you like that strong game meat flavor, don't brine it. Simple as that. I'm gonna hit it with a little salt and pepper, coat it really good, and in the bottom of a big enameled pot, I'm gonna put a little olive oil, a couple of cubes of garlic. I really like that prepped, frozen, fresh garlic, some rosemary, some cumin. There's just a handful of flavors in there, and then I'm gonna brown up that meat real well. That browning is going to give the meat some really nice color, lock in some of those flavors and juices, and just make it really, really nice. The younger me would laugh at the now older me for creating a cooking film, or for that matter, watching a cooking film. I guess where I'm going with this, as I age and I have these moments of clarity, I find how rewarding the cooking piece is. Just watching it. I love the colors, the smells, the transition from one thing to something spectacular that is comforting and nourishing. It's all those things, the smiles, the appreciation, everything that comes with cooking. Sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's just not great. But that, for me, is a challenge to either duplicate what I've done well or to do better at what I didn't do so well, and then to humbly share it with you of, hey, I make mistakes, or hey, I'm proud of what I did and I want you to do this for your family out of something you harvested or earned or whatever. And I know on occasion I get on these soapbox and I just say what I'm feeling, but it's important. So stick with me. We got a little bit more cooking to go here. And remember that it's alluring. Matter of fact, people enjoy knowing that you're human and that you can make mistakes. You will make mistakes. And you're just man enough to say, hey, I'm going to try and do it a little better next time. So, my long-winded excuse for creating a little tough meat, let's move to the next step. I've got some onions, I've got some potatoes, and I've got some heirloom carrots. I'm going to put it right down in that pot, cover it in stock, and then I'm going to stick all that delicious sheep meat that's been browned up right down in there, and then stick it in the oven at 250 for 4 hours. Like any good cooking show, it's been 4 hours. I made a big French loaf, kind of a cheesy bread to go with it. I pulled that stuff out. Everything looked wonderful. It's just my wife and I tonight for dinner. So I plated everything up with a little asparagus from the grill. Man, I'm ready to go. And you can see firsthand that it is tough, tough, tough.
And what is this?
It's the auction round. Sheep. Oh, it needs
It's good flavor.
a lot more time in there.
Good.
Good flavor, but too hard to chew.
Your carrots lost some color in there.
They're heirloom.
I'm kidding.
My good wife and I choked that stuff down like it was high-end jerky and we were broke. But it tasted great. It just was so hard to chew. So I put it all right back in the pot after we finished dinner. I threw it back in the oven and pulled it out like 11 o'clock at night. So it got like a full 9 hours on it. And man, it was tender. It was just perfect. It just needed way more time than I gave it.
That took way longer than it should have, but I left it in there for an extra 4 hours and it finally got it, the tender that I was looking for. That meat is worthy of $4,500 a pound. The beauty of this type of meal is it will save and freeze over and over and over again. I froze my auction ram dinner, the one that was a little bit too tough. I got it tender and we couldn't eat it that night, so I froze it. I'm gonna drop it in the sous vide. I'm gonna turn it up to 160 degrees. And we're gonna do it in burritos because I prefer Mexican food. Sheep meat just came out of the sous vide. So hard to do a reverse. I dropped a jar of this salsa, green chili salsa that I bought in New Mexico. I dropped it in here with the sous vide meat. It's like 160 degrees. And I literally, I can do it this way. Just went through and used all the scrap. That's a piece of like Kraft singles. That's grated cheese. Honestly, that meat is probably the best flavor of any game meat I've ever had. Now, I can't tell you if it's the New Mexico green chili salsa or if it's the meat, but it's crazy mild. I am personally one of those guys that likes the really mild game meats. This meal was much better the second time than the first time.
The production quality is headed downhill. So this whole thing took place over about a week's time. I had those tacos last night. They were delicious. So I went through today and I separated out all the meat. I actually scissor cut it so it's this nice bitchin' little fine particles. And then I caramelized some onion, some bell pepper, and then I dropped that meat into the skillet just to warm it fast. Now, because of the green chili flavor in it, it's already got a little spicy. It's just a great flavor. I looked at a whole bunch of Philly cheesesteak recipes, and everybody's all about that Kraft single and about that really cheap, inexpensive cheese. Well, I don't do anything normal, even though I use like a Kraft. I use a Sharp American. And tell me the truth, is there anybody going, oh my goodness, I'm glad I don't have to wash that pan? Because that's what I was thinking watching this. I put it together in a little hoagie roll. I gave it a few minutes to cool off. And honestly, I'm not trying to sell you because not everybody's got a bunch of sheep meat laying around, but this is so delicious. You get all that creamy from the cheese. You got your typical peppers and onion flavor, which is just a great blend. You have a mild yet spicy, super tender meat. All of that together. I ate that sandwich way too fast, and I loved every ounce of it. I want to close by encouraging you to cook that game meat. Don't look for crazy special recipes. Just take that game meat and incorporate it anywhere you would use domestic beef, chicken, whatever. Try it. It's worth it. I also want to give a very special thank you to everybody that stuck it out here with me, encouraged me to continue this, and to watch what maybe you didn't come here originally for. You are the very reason I continue this. As YouTube grows and changes, it's harder and harder to get views, looks, and to stay here. And my goal was to never, ever, ever be the guy in search of clicks. It's all about bringing some value and encouraging one another to utilize this fantastic resource that God gave us as a family. So thank you. I love you so much. Till next time.